You know, the world never ceases to amaze me. There's so much knowledge, so much lore the world has to offer. Do aliens exist? And if they do, why haven't they contacted us? What really happened to the Roanoke colony? And most important of all, is Willy Wonka's chocolate factory just a front for his meth lab? Hey guys, today's topic is a rather ridiculous one filled with scummery, is that a word? Scummery, villainy, thievery, and skullduggery. So you guys may have already heard about the viral Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow. So you guys have probably seen all the viral images at this point, but let's go over a few of them. Honestly, if you told me that this was a waiting area for an airport, I would have believed you. Honestly, this looks like a kid that went crazy with Pretend Castle. You know that cute little game you play as a kid? You use all these household items like pillows and clothes to build a castle. Add a little bit of tense music, wait a few seconds, and then show the main characters running through those doors being chased by zombies, and boom, you got a scene from The Walking Dead. This is undoubtedly my favorite video of the entire thing. Like, you can't tell me he came out from behind that mirror looking like he's auditioning for the Jabberwockies. This one, I don't even know what to make of it. Like, there's an unplugged TV, the canvas doesn't even fit the walls. I mean, this just feels barren, desolate, empty even. Just like the effort that was made into putting this event together. Now you guys may have already heard, but they did in fact use AI images to promote this event. Now I'm gonna show you a series of images that, is still on their website, which is still up for some reason, props to them. But yeah, these images are essentially the entire website. So here's the first thing you see when you visit the website. Now when you've seen enough AI generated images, you can kind of tell that this is, AI generated. Now of course there are people who don't know that this is generated by AI. They're not familiar with the general style, they're not familiar with, what to look for. And to them, this will look pretty convincing, especially for an event. This will probably make them buy tickets. But there are a couple of things I would like to point out. The first thing I want to point out is the apostrophe that's missing over here. It's not consistent with the title or the company or the event or whatever. You know what I mean. If the name of your event is not consistent with the one that's showing in the logo, that's wrong. And in fact, let's jump to the logo next, okay? Like right over here in the center, it's blending in with the background image, right? You can't really tell where the logo starts and the image ends, you know what I'm saying? As someone who's designed a website for one of, the projects in my school, I would have put a border around the logo just to kind of differentiate between the background image and the logo if the colors are clashing. Not clashing, sorry, I mean blending. But speaking of the logo, do you notice the logo on the top left? It's so minuscule. You barely even notice it. They didn't even bother resizing the logo. You might as well have just removed it. Next up, we have this one, and I'm not entirely sure what's happening with that rabbit. It has 4 eyes. I'm scared. That candy cane has an eye underneath it. I feel very uncomfortable. Also, that's not a jelly bean. It doesn't look like a jelly bean to me. It looks like a coffee bean. Big tip, I would not eat that bucket of popcorn in the background. That looks moldy as fuck. But moving on to the wording, there's some inconsistencies in the spacing. Also, another big tip, if the website for the event has not proofread the wording, I would think it's a scam. Check it out guys, it's the Imagination Lab, where you can encounter, let me see over here, encounter mind-expanding projections, optical marvels, and exhibits that transport you to the realm of creativity. The space invites you on a surreal journey where the boundaries between reality and fantasy harmoniously. Bro, I can't take you seriously, man, holy shit. Oh my god, brace yourself for an adventure that will leave you spellbound. Oh, yeah. The people that went there were definitely spellbound. Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. It's a bit controversial, maybe a bit of a hot take. But if you saw the spelling on the colors over here and thought to yourself, yep, Doesn't look wrong at all. Maybe you deserve to get scammed. I mean, be honest with me. Look at this. Lichting, dim tight, depractions, Vivu sounds, ungerevel, empreti, dim dickly, twiddling, dojection, enigmatic sounds, swide, expected twits. Be honest. After seeing the spelling here, how can you not think, maybe there's something wrong with the event? Yep, heart pounding experience indeed. Heart pounding with rage. Okay, I'm gonna try and translate some of these words, okay? Even though it's in English, I feel like I might be able to extract some semblance of, something that might make sense. Alright, from top to bottom, enriching entertainment. Wow, they got entertainment right. Catgagating. I kind of feel like they are going for captivating. They got live performances right. Carchy tons. I think they're going for catchy tunes. Exercerdre lollipops. Extraordinary lollipops? And a paradise of sweet treats. A paradise of sweet treats. Why does the R look like it formed with the T? Now, obviously, to anyone who, doesn't suspect a thing from this website, and they have been, apparently from what I've heard, they had this Facebook group and they were reassuring people that it wasn't a scam. So there was a little bit of concern about the event from the get-go. But the organizers reassured them, like the people commenting on their Facebook post, that it was, a real thing. But back to the people, or rather the victims who weren't suspecting a thing, these images may have become, been very convincing and they bought the tickets, which apparently cost around 45 euros. And you guys already know the story. They went to the event and they were met with an apocalyptic scene. Which is actually quite sad because if you think about it, it's 45 for a single ticket. It's an event for kids directed towards families. So I'm assuming that there is, there are two parents, so that's already $90. And then add the kids too. I don't know what the average is, so let's assume there's two. You're already looking at 180 euros. Now, obviously for events like this, kids would usually get a discount. I'm not sure if there was one for this particular event, but it's still quite a considerable amount of money. Apparently, obviously the kids would be crying, but there was apparently an angry mob and it got so bad that the police were called. Can you imagine pissing off a bunch of parents who took their kids out for what they expected would be a great event and a family day? Come to find out, once I get to the venue with my family, expecting a great day, it's a barren wasteland. I would call the police too. Now, apparently it got so bad that the organizers just decided to cancel the event completely without telling the customers beforehand. Now, coming from someone who graduated with a hospitality degree and as someone who's worked events before, usually when an event has to be cancelled, you give your utmost best to, give a heads up whether it's on your website or if it's on your social media platform. You can't just cancel it on a whim. And as far as I know, these guys didn't even bother putting a heads up on their website. So the organizers of this event was the House of Illuminati. Now, I also did a quick run through of their website and I mostly found just a bunch of AI generated images. It was also pretty sloppy in my opinion. The careers section had nothing in it. I'm not even sure why they had that section in there. At least put something in there, a message that says if you're interested in working with us or working for us, send us a DM. I also found that the text on the website was blending in with the background image. They didn't even bother changing the color of the text. I'm like, this is not it, man. What, do you expect everyone who visits your website to highlight every single thing just so they can read what's on your website? The links to their socials don't even work. You click on it, it's not taking you to their social page. Everything about this just screams unprofessional, and I do not even have a single sliver of sympathy for them. You used AI generated images, which fine, they look impressive, but what the people got was slop. And that's something I cannot respect, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. Now, it says over here that according to a spokesperson for the Box Hub, The event itself did not reflect what had been promised, obviously. We can see what happened with the backlash. The customers were not happy with the price charged for admittance, and after fielding many complaints, the organizers decided to cancel the event entirely with the intention of providing refunds to everyone. At least they're providing refunds, supposedly. So I'm guessing that the Box Hub is the one that's providing the venue, because it says over here, the House of Illuminati were responsible for the event in its entirety, from the venue decor through to the marketing and operations. So two separate entities. I don't think Box Hub should be getting any of the backlash. This is entirely on the House of Illuminati. Speaking of, I actually found their Facebook page and the comment section is absolutely going in. This guy is saying if you can't afford to, hire an actual designer, at least make the AI look decent. This one's saying to use actual photography instead of throwing in a bunch of words into an over-glorified search engine. Now, this one just really hurts to read. Feel free to pause it if you want. But yeah, this guy basically just drove 3 hours to get to the event, only to have their kids cry, and they're basically calling out like how hurtful it is and how deceiving the advertising was. It also looks like the script the actors were using was AI generated as well, and in the script they were supposed to perform actual magic. Like, did the organizers even read the script? What did they expect the actors to do? Pull a rabbit out of their asshole? I feel like with how low effort the entire event was on the organizers' end, they may as well have given, the customers hallucinogens, because oh my god, that would have made the event even more interesting. But the biggest heroes to come out of this were the actors. Big props to them for dealing with this bullshit. So here's a TikTok from Paul Connell, who played Willy Wonka.
We were told on the experience to hand out one jelly bean per child, and a quarter of a cup of Tesco's own brand lemonade. That was what the children got.
Incredible. Imagine going to a chocolate factory and being given a single jelly bean and a lemonade cup. Bro, I would have flipped that lemonade stand. It's like the final boss of false advertising. You're doing a tour through a chocolate factory, and you get to the end expecting a box of chocolates and you can only take one flavor, only to find out in the end that there is no box of chocolates because the unknown's taken everything, and all that's left to give is a singular jelly bean for your troubles, and a cup of lemonade. Now, you might be very familiar with this picture of the Oompa Loompa named Methany, which is obviously not her real name. Her real name is Kirsty Patterson, and she is an absolute angel. I mean, according to this Twitter post, it looks like she did her absolute best to make sure that the kids had the best they can get out of this experience. Apparently, she found this job on Indeed, and when she was looking through the script, she had some suspicion about, that it was AI generated. So I went ahead, looked it up on the internet, and here you go. Now feel free to pause, and this script to me looks a little weird. Now, I've participated in plays before, and script writing was one of the tasks I was given. These were all school plays, by the way, and it was part of my class. But as part of our class curriculum, our teacher would give us these scripts that were written by professionals, and they never described the audience reaction in detail. Now, I could be wrong, okay? If any one of you are script writers or playwriters or work in these types of events where you have to write a script, do let me know in the comments how it works over there. But according to Miss Patterson, apparently the actors were told to just ditch the script and wing it, eventually devolving into letting the guests just walk through, forget the script. But finally, a word from the actual organizer of the event. So one of the organizers was Billy Cool, and he responded by saying that he's really shocked that the event had fallen short of the expectations of people on paper. Like, yeah, that kinda happens when you post an AI generated image to promote your event, only to find out that when people go to the event, it's nothing like it was in the pictures. My vision of the artistic rendition of a well-known book didn't come to fruition. For that, I'm absolutely, truly, and utterly sorry. There was every intention to hold the event from the pictures, despite not being in the best light. Hopefully, you'll be able to see that there was every intention to hold the event. My guy, there is a massive difference between intention and delivery. Here, this short clip might help. This cat wants to jump on the counter. He intends to get to the counter, but whoop! Nope, falls flat on his face into the abyss. Further, he blames things on technological issues, like they had ordered a holographic paper that didn't arrive on time. My guy, I don't think holographic paper is gonna save the event. Look at how barren it is. Like, you need a boatload of holographic paper to make up for the emptiness. Anyways, I have no sympathy at all for the people who organized this event. It was unprofessional from the start. It was all extremely low effort. Like, clearly the only effort that was being exerted were from the employees, the actors, the customers who traveled miles just to go to this event. Meanwhile, on the organizers' end, all they did was create slop. Like, yeah, the AI generated images were sloppy, but let's talk about the websites too. Like, what did they do with the website? Did they generate it as well? Is that what happened here? Anyway, this just goes to show that despite being able to cut corners and by creating visually impressive slop with AI, that doesn't mean that you understand what it takes to create an event. How much an event will cost, how much organization you need, what it takes to properly market an event, making sure that you get everything you need for the event on time and have it set up on time, making sure everything is in working order, especially when you have tech involved, and most importantly, making sure you can deliver on the big promises you made. The images you used for marketing may be impressive, but at the end of the day, it's the end product that matters. And with all disrespect, your product was shit. And hey, maybe next time you should hire people who are more experienced than you when it comes to marketing. And while you're at it, hire a real developer to make your website. If Skillshare was sponsoring this video, this would be a great spot to insert that ad. I don't have any sympathy at all for the people who organized this event. If you can even call it an event, it was more like a scam. And they deserve all the backlash that they're getting right now. And I would really love it if they got slapped by an orca. I would pay money to see that event. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys had fun because the last two were kinda serious. Anyway, see ya.